Okay, our second question is, how can schools manage their low-level allegations against staff?
So first of all, I think it's really important to have a policy in place, a policy that everybody understands. And if you're part of a multi-academy trust, for example, I think that same policy has to be across all of the different schools within that trust. It's also really important to have a very clear and understood staff code of conduct as well. So that's what I would say underpins the whole process. I think that it's very important then to have a really interesting and helpful training program around this as well. So staff really need to engage with the concept behind it. They need to understand the theory behind it, and not just see it as being something which is there to threaten them. So actually thinking about the reason why this came in the beginning was looking at the case study of William Vahi, and some work that Marcus Aruga did particularly around that, and what he describes as the slippery slope model, that they violate, so potential abuser would violate other boundaries before slipping into abuse, because what they're doing is they're testing out that environment. And I think if staff can understand the reasoning and the rationale behind why the policy is there and why it's there to protect young people, I think it helps them to really engage with it. And I think that using scenarios within the training is really important as well. So we try and use scenarios that have actually happened, obviously not ones that be really obvious and that they can be attributable to, but ones that we've had in the past. And then you need to use those scenarios to help members of staff identify what low-level concerns looks like, and also give them a toolkit for what they might do, either to challenge that low-level concern, to report it, and what the appropriate avenues are to do that as well. And in terms of managing those concerns, I think then it's really important to think about how you record them appropriately, and so that you can log them, and so that you can look at trends and patterns within the concerns and the self-reports that you're getting, because I think that will then better inform your education around it as well.
Absolutely, and it's building on the safeguarding culture that you have, isn't it? Because it isn't just about the members of staff that are in school. You've got to have the buy-in, if you will, from the governors or the trustees, or it has to be a whole school approach towards it, doesn't it?
It does, and the culture is so important, because without a culture of feeling safe and without a culture of trust, then your staff are going to find it really difficult to come forward, because they're going to be fearful. And so I think when you're looking at the culture of sharing and how you go about embedding the low-level concerns policy within that organisation, it's got to be part of a bigger exercise about trust. I think we were really lucky at Wellington in that we introduced our low-level concerns policy back in 2015, and we had the luxury to do it really slowly, and we had working groups and lots of staff involved in that process. And what it did was it enabled lots of staff to see why the process was being introduced, and also to gain trust within that process as well. And we've also seen that the longer that it's been going on for, so we've had it really in place now for 5 or 6 years, that level of trust within the organisation has gradually grown year on year. And interestingly, what we've also seen as well is, as that culture of sharing and openness has increased within the staff body, we've also had some really interesting statistics and data to suggest that's also grown in the student body as well.
That's fantastic. That's where everybody wants to be, isn't it? Where everybody is as open and sharing the concerns that they have.
Exactly. And goodness, I'm not sitting here thinking that we've got all the right answers and that we're perfect, because something will come and challenge me every week on it. But it's about taking each incident as it happens, and dealing with it and learning from it, and using those experiences to help staff as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.